you no longer watering yourself down. Personality, the way you dress, the way that you speak, watering down choices that you make for other people, to make other people comfortable, to stay in the company, to stay around other people because you don't want to be alone. You stepping into your own power. To me, that is what you becoming the main character means. Hey you guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, whichever side I have it on, as well as the bell, so anytime any new content is uploaded, you, my friend, will be the first to know about it. But I wanted to talk about you becoming, you bestie, you over there, you becoming the main character in your own story, okay? And when we talk about becoming the main character in your own story, story meaning AKA your life, okay, which you only get one of them, all right? And you becoming the main character of that, okay? So we're gonna get into that video, you guys. Let's talk about it. Okay, you guys, so I want to talk about what does becoming the main character of your story mean? For me, what that means is you no longer watering yourself down, watering down your personality, watering down the way you dress, watering down the way that you speak, watering down choices that you make for other people, to make other people comfortable, to stay in the company, to stay around other people because you don't want to be alone, okay? So really, you stepping into your own power. To me, that is what you becoming the main character means. And that's, you know, one of those things that, again, at least for some of us, is always easier said than done, right? To become the main character of your own story. A lot of us, you know, I am a recovering people pleaser, okay? But a lot of us are people pleasers. Maybe we're either raised to become that or naturally just have always been people pleasers, right? You know, the yes ma'am, yes man, yes woman to other people, to either be liked, to be accepted, because you don't want to fall out of their good graces, right? Or you want to be seen or perceived a certain way. So you're the yes, I can do it. Yes, even if it makes you uncomfortable. You know, yes, to be accepted. And when you really step into your own power, this goes for my guys, this goes for my girls, when you really step into your own power, it's not that you no longer appreciate other people or you don't appreciate, certain environments or social circles that you've created, or just your position, right? That up until this point that you have developed. It doesn't mean that you don't appreciate those things, but you suddenly realize how important and how valuable you are. And you'll really kind of analyze, like, am I more of like someone's supporting character, or am I really stepping up as being my own main character? And when I say that, it means like, have you developed a life, okay, many different ways around keeping other people comfortable, right, with a certain version of you that makes them comfortable, right? I'm just going to use a few examples. You guys know I love to use my examples, okay? I'm going to use a few examples, but like, let's just say that you are someone who, you know, you never really, you know, maybe you have a nice figure or a nice physique for guys, you know, you're built well or whatever, but you never really dressed in any sort of way that really, you know, showcase that. And now it could just be meaning dressed just nicer, a little bit more clean cut, a little bit more like you're taking time to really like pour into yourself, manscape, whatever, however that may be, get your lining, get your, you know, whatever, how guys do, right? It's, you know, whatever. And it could be facials too, because I know guys that, you know, do that and they look very nice. Like they make sure like they're on point, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that, because that's them pouring into themselves. And every drop of love that you pour into yourself, you're gonna get it back. And that's gonna be by other people. When other people, and I've said this before, but when other people see how much you love yourself, it is mirrored, right? Even if you think like, oh, I don't care about stuff like that. That doesn't, unfortunately, we do live in a superficial world, right? Most people, even if they don't have the pleasure of actually getting to know you, all they know of you is what they can perceive and put together little puzzle pieces by, you see someone that works out. That means that in a way like that translates in our mind that the person might care about themselves enough, right, to prioritize themselves. They care enough about themselves to prioritize themselves. They care about how they're how healthy they are, which shows, right? Just sometimes just based off of attraction, we're looking at purely how healthy someone looks, and that could be expressed in many different ways. It could be their weight, it could be their complexion, it could be whatever that is, how white their teeth are, how healthy their hair looks. It can be just the little small things, right? And don't get me wrong, obviously I don't care, no one has to be perfect or anything like that, but it's just about you pouring into yourself as much as you are able to, okay? And I don't mean according to someone else's version of what perfect, and you should look like this, your hair should be this long or cut in this way, or I'm just saying the absolute best version of you that is possible, okay? Not according to someone else, but I digress for a minute there. But what I'm saying is this, is that have you in any way watered yourself down? And I use the example, like I say, of, maybe a girl, she has a great figure, but she never wears anything to showcase that even in the least bit, and it has nothing to do with like religion or anything like that. It's just because she feels uncomfortable, and that she'll get a lot of eyes on her. Maybe she has friends that usually are the ones that are the ones with the confidence, the ones that get the attention, and she's assumed that position of like just being maybe the backup, or the one that has a lot of jokes to tell, or the funny one, the one that's just a lot of fun but doesn't really get the guy or get the girl. And not that he or she is not capable of getting that or being that main character, she just has not assumed that position. And not because she hasn't wanted it or he hasn't wanted it, but they just haven't assumed that position because they are too busy trying to make other people comfortable, right? They're displaying a version of themselves that make other people feel comfortable. Maybe when that girl, when she really gets dressed up, she's the head turner. That she could be with a big huge group of girls, but when she dresses up, all eyes on her, every head turns, and the guys will walk directly up to her. Out of the group of 3, 4, 5 girls, they're continuously walking up to her to say hi, I'd like to get to whatever that may be. And because of that, and her being aware of the way her other friends are kind of like rolling their eyes, or now they suddenly don't really want to invite her out much or whatever, so then she does more of the watered down version of herself, okay, where now she could go for looking like a 10, but she'll settle for the 6 because it's all good, it's no big deal, it's whatever. But it's really more so her wanting to please others, right? Displaying a version of herself that pleases others rather than really step into that power. And it doesn't mean that you always gotta, because sometimes even you just putting on some lip gloss, or for a guy, whatever, Carmex, whatever, is enough to attract. So I'm not really necessarily saying that, but I'm just saying that in different ways. And this could go across the board. It could be guys that, the real handsome guy, very, very handsome, but maybe not could be a little bit more confident, cocky, but he's not being that confident or that, whatever, because he has one friend in the group that, hey, I'm the, whatever, and he assumes his role, even though he could easily get the attention, get the girl, but he just doesn't really show that confidence, not because he doesn't have it, but because he's assumed this certain position in the group that, he's the cool, the one with the jokes, he's the, no big deal, man, might be the handsome one out the group, okay, or the talented one, or both, or whatever, but he kind of falls back and doesn't really puffish really step into his power, because he's too busy wanting to fit into this group of friends, right? Make them comfortable. So he presents himself as this kind of more so watered down version of himself. So what I'm saying, you guys, and this could even be with family too, right? You know, sometimes, especially with larger families, even smaller families, people want to assume certain positions, right? Whatever that could be. Okay, well, you are the so-and-so is the funny one, or so-and-so is the successful one, or so-and-so is the pretty one, or so-and-so is this, that, whatever. And because people have either been assigned these positions in the family by conditioning, or have assumed them because they have assumed them, or you're the responsible one, oh, you're the irresponsible one, oh, you're the black sheep, you're the one, you know, whatever that role assignment is. A lot of times people, for acceptance, not wanting to be pushed out of the herd, not wanting to be pushed out of the crowd, will try to confine and you know, stay within that box or that bubble or whatever it is, and not really shine. And it's okay to do that. But like I say, and like I say, so there's nothing wrong with saying seasons, but when I think of season, I think of it to be a little bit more temporary. But this is not just a season for you to be the main character. This is your time, okay, to be your own main character of your own story. And I'm not talking about someone else's story, okay? So I'm not saying it in an arrogant way of like you're the main character in other people's story, but it's time for you to be the main character in your life, okay? And that means shining your brightest that you are capable of shining, whatever your talents are. And we're gifted with so many different talents. And this could probably go into other types of videos, right? Where, you know, I have talked about like you staying, when I say stay in your lane, I mean stay in your lane. Be like a racehorse. And a lot of times when horses are racing, they have their blinders on, because if they know, if that horse turns his head to the left or to the right, focuses in on other people, other horses racing, they're going to slow down. So I want you guys to be that horse with those blinders on, that are focused, laser focused on being the best version, leveling up, manifesting your dreams, your best life, because you are so incredibly worth it. Stepping into your power, being the main character of your story, not just the watered down version that makes other people comfortable, or the watered down version that, you know, gets accepted and oh, everybody, you know, because some people will like you until they hear the N-O word, right? Or until you decline too many times, and then it's like, oh, well, so they act like they don't, you know, Or for guys, you know, oh yeah, so-and-so, he was cool, we used to hang out, we used to, you know, whatever, grab drinks, go for bar, you know. But the moment that people start hearing no too many times, then it's like, oh, well, and then a lot of us, because we don't want to make other people uncomfortable, or we're worried about what other people think, are they assuming or thinking that we're too good, or we don't like them anymore. And it has nothing to do with that. It's just you deciding how are you going to step into that, right? If you have, let's just say, you have a schedule where, you know, and it's been working for you, right? Maybe you're eating a little bit healthier. You are choosing to cut certain things out of your diet. You're actually, if you can't work out in the morning, you're working out after work. And you're deciding that, you know, maybe you want to drink, but you'll save it maybe for every other weekend, right? You'll drink, but you're not going to drink every single weekend. You're not going to go hang out and party every single weekend. Maybe you're going to scale it back to maybe once out of the month, right? And you really do it up. You enjoy, have fun, go out. But otherwise, you're really sticking to your healthy regime, your healthy regimen. You're really sticking to your healthy regimen of, like, you know, certain dietary choices. You're cutting out the alcohol, you're cutting out certain things. Well, that might require you to be able to tell friends or tell family or co-workers or old buddies, and being able to tell them like, nah, I'm no, and you don't even have to explain, right? No is a complete sentence. Just like, no, I can't make this one. Yeah, I'll catch up with you such and such a date. Yeah, I got a few things I want to do, and you don't even have to go that far, okay? But your lifestyle changes, habits. Are you stepping into your power? Are you becoming the main character, and not just someone who, you know, because even, you know, and like I say, this can apply for friends, family, co-workers, whatever, because at the end of the day, we're all human. We're all red-blooded. We all bleed. At the end of the day, we're all human, Okay, so having these emotions, people, people have egos. Okay, people can be jealous, they can have egos, they can feel some sort of type of way, and even measure your success as to how it impacts them, right? Does it put eyes on them as making them appear or feel like they're not as successful as maybe they felt before you really kind of start stepping into your power, making changes? Or did they like the watered down version of you that maybe needed more help, or just was kind of like that, kind of frumpy, one that maybe didn't get too much attention, didn't too much there are people, and I'm not saying this is everyone, because the ones that are not impacted by your changes, the ones that allow you to step and shine and be the main character of your own story, not their story, but allow you to be the main character in your own story, aka your life, are likely the ones that need to stick around. Or it's okay to allow them to stick around into the new version of yourself, this new elevated version of yourself. Maybe they are the ones worthy to stick. Okay, because not all are going to stick. Because as you elevate, think of it as like a plane, right? Think of it as a plane that's going up. As a plane is going up, things are going to shift, move, right? If it's not strapped down, essentially things will shift, it'll move or whatever. And don't be afraid of that shift. Do not be afraid of that elevation. Do not be afraid of that shift, or feel that, if so-and-so falls off, then, like, step out of it. Let's step out of that. We're not today. What they say, not today. Not today. We're not doing that. Not today, Satan. I'm being silly, but you all feel me. Not today. Okay, we're not gonna worry about how, if I take that job that's, out of town, and then how will friends, how will family, how will they feel, because now I'm gonna go for that, the job, the promotion, it requires me to, make a move, and, will they think it's selfish that I'm taking a job that makes, that I have to move for, or whatever that could be, right? Or now I'm getting serious about my classes, my school, and, schooling, and getting better grades, or going for internships, and now will my friends think I'm too good, or I'm better than them because now I don't hang out as much, now I actually care about my grades. Who cares? And I don't, that's the wrong word, y'all. I almost said who cares. I don't mean who cares about how your friends feel, but ultimately sometimes, like I say, especially when we are people pleasers and we need that validation, we want that validation, we want to see people feel good about us. That helps us feel good about us, other people feeling good. Stop that. Stop that. Stop it. Like I say, me being an ex-recovering people pleaser, stop that. No, 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 no. Anyone who feels somehow they're taking your win, right, as a loss, or as a what's the word? It's almost like someone like taking it as a I don't know what's the word, like when someone like they're taking it as a headbutt or something, or you bucking up, right? They take it as almost like a buck to their position or their authority or whatever, because you're stepping into your own power. You now can say no. You now can wear that outfit, wear that jacket, wear that pair of shoes that you had sitting, but you're like, oh, I don't want to look too dressed up, or oh, they're all going to be asking me what am I so dressed up for, or oh, where am I going? Stop that. We're not doing that. We're not watering our beautiful, lovely personalities, our dreams, our desires. We're not watering who we are down no longer for other people. We are stepping into being our own main character. Okay, had to get that out. I love you guys so much. If you guys found value in this video, please do give it a thumbs up. It means the world to me. And not just that, like I say, if you found value in this video and you know someone that maybe needs to hear this, okay, someone who is super duper awesome but just does not, they're not stepping up, okay, their plan is small, okay, they're awesome but Plan is small, okay? And they need to hear this message. Please do share the video. Again, leave lots of comments, you guys. A comment that you leave may be actually very helpful, useful to the next person who comes along and reads it. It might be right on time, divine timing. So leave those comments down below, you guys. I love you guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.